Alright, so a little bit of a story here. Just finished the transmission swap on my Dodge W250, and we went for about a 15-minute test drive, and then I drove it back to school. So about another 5 minutes or so. And I went back and parked in the parking lot of my school and worked on a lab that I had to work on with a few buddies of mine. And then it was probably like 12:30 or so that was finished that night, and then I drove back to the parking lot. And just on the way back to the parking lot, the truck really started to shake, and I just barely made it back to the parking lot. Hopped out of the truck. The first thing I saw on the ground was, see what those are? Yeah, those are needle bearings. So, yeah, one of the U-joint caps popped out. So I guess it wasn't installed correctly completely. So I guess one of those retaining clips fell out, and then the U-joint cap fell out. So we're just now here in the parking lot waiting for the tow truck, and we're going to take it home and then replace the U-joint. We've got a U-joint at home, so we'll do that. Lesson learned there is to make sure the retaining clip's installed correctly. Bye. Alright, we're back here at home. The tow truck came and picked us up. Brought the truck home and dropped it in the street, and I thought that I could probably just drive it in off the street, but as I was driving in from the street, the other half of the U-joint fell off, and then the drive shaft fell down completely at the front, so I had to hook up to my dad's truck, and then we pulled her through the garage with a tow rope. So got that in, and I'm pretty lucky that I made it back to the parking lot there at school, which is pretty good. So, and actually on the way back from the parking lot that night, when the U-joint there popped off, I found one of the end caps on the sidewalk. So it still had all of its needle bearings on the ground. So the other one must have fallen off, and there's needle bearings everywhere. So we'll go ahead and replace those U-joints, or maybe use that same back shaft there. I haven't decided yet. Alright, so I just wanted to show the part numbers for the U-joints that we got, and the U-joints that we put on originally, the one that fell off of the drive shaft there, this was the one that we got from a local parts store, AC Delco Professional, and here's the part number for it, and that's the one that fell off. So went on some forums and checked out what guys say is a good U-joint that does work, and some guys swear by these Spicer U-joints. So leave the part number for that. There's the part number for that, 1410, and here's the U-joints right there. So we'll compare them. These are the AC Delco ones, and then these are the Spicer ones. Looks like these ones come with a ton more clips, which is good, because I think that was originally the problem, because the clip obviously wasn't fully seated, and I thought they were seated in the slip out gear and the drive shaft, but I guess they weren't. So looks like they give a ton more options here with clips, so we'll see how that works out. While we're down there, we're also going to do the hanger support bearing for the rear drive shaft, and got this from Summit Racing, and part number there, center bearing. We're going to replace that as well, because we just used the one that was on there. Figured now's the time to do it, obviously, since those other U-joints didn't work out, so we're just going to do the hanger bearing as well. So here's the damage from the U-joint falling out. You can see where the cap fell out, and then the inside part just started banging against the inside of the U-joint there, or I mean the drive shaft. It's pretty deep cuts there. So since let's lay this down. since the drive shafts from the automatic swap that we did and manual for the rear part, the front part of the shaft here is a different length. I mean, these ones, but the rears are the same, so decided that we're just going to use reuse my old one from the automatic. So we're going to replace the hanger bearing on this part of the drive shaft here, and we're going to press out this shaft from the hanger bearing piece there, so those should separate. I'm going to throw that in the press and press that out. So in order to replace the hanger bearing, first you pull off the rubber part from the actual bearing, and then you can have access to the bearing itself. And what we'll do is we'll maybe get a bearing separator in there and then push it off. So here's what we're doing to get the bearing off. We have a bearing separator here, and then we're on the press, and the bearing separator is just below the bearing, and then we're pressing on the drive shaft itself to push it out of the bearing. Alright, we've cleaned up the drive shaft where the bearing sits. They give you this replacement dust shield, I think that is, but we're going to leave this one on there since it's tacked on all around the sides and it does its job the way it is. So we're going to put a light film of grease around there, press the bearing on, and then should be good to go. So this new hanger bearing has a label on it pointing towards the front, and the front of the drive shaft is going to be the end not with the splines, because that attaches to the transfer case, and then that's at the back slip yoke towards the back drive shaft. So front, back, directional. Okay, so in order to press this new hanger bearing on, we have this. This is an open tubing, and that's pressing directly on the bearing. And then we're going to be pushing from the top with the press, pushing the drive shaft through the bearing until it's seated. The hanger bearing's on, then we use the little tool to our disposal and smashed on the dust cover on this side. So now we're good on this side, and we're good on the other side. So now we can reinstall the drive shaft. Okay, so all the U-joints are in, the hanger bearing's in. Now we're going to reattach the main shaft to the propeller shaft and put the boot on, and then we can put it back on the truck. Alright, so the drive shaft, hanger bearing, U-joints are all installed back on the truck, and now we're ready to go for a test drive. So take note, lesson learned. To install your retaining clips correctly, make sure that they're past the groove on there, or else you will lose a U-joint cap, potentially destroy your drive shaft where the caps seat, and you don't want that problem like we just had. So definitely make sure that that's done correctly. So we'll go for a test right now. We shouldn't have any vibrations. Got the brand new hanger bearing in there. So we're ready to go. Backed by the new 5-speed Getrag and transfer case.